What's up guys, I'm Marco Feudale and I'm a luthier. I build guitars for a living. Welcome to my YouTube channel FeudoMusic, where I usually talk about guitar, building guitars and other things too. So today I'm going to show you how I built my marble mosaic top guitar. I usually don't plan things, okay? I just draw everything I can on the wood and start building. But here, since this project was a bit more complex than usual, I decided to be a bit more precise, especially on the fretboard, because I had to see how wide actually was going to be. I already knew that my nut was going to be 60 millimeters, but I didn't know how wide the neck heel was going to be, and I used the position of the strings to calculate it by drawing the profile of the neck using the position of the strings, and then calculating where the end of my fretboard was going to be. From there I just measured how wide my fretboard was, and that was it. And then it was time to draw things on the wood. It was a pretty straightforward process, nothing to talk about, but you'll see later that I had a few problems drawing the position of each hole, because I couldn't keep all the saddles straight at the same time, because I'm a fucking idiot. So at the end I decided to draw 2 holes at a time, so 1 saddle at a time. So I'll just shut up and let you see it with a bit of music. was time to start cutting things out. I usually don't like power tools, and I usually prefer to cut things by hand, and here I did exactly that. I kind of try to use both saws here to see which one was better, but at the end I decided for this one for the majority of the cuts, because it's a bit more precise. But one thing that you have to be careful of when you're cutting things by hand is not to force the utensil, not to force the blade, because it could actually bend or break. Be careful, because if it gets stuck if you're applying too much force, the blade is going to bend. So I'll just shut up here and let you see what I did with a bit of music. ste duri vendo stargianicolo, prima di Roma c'è stavo già. Tra ste duri vendo stargianicolo. Il pecoraro che andava al pascolo scendeva al fiume per beverà. Il pecoraro che andava al pascolo. Tutta la sponda sotto Argianicolo era di rena di qua e di là, e dentro l'acqua c'è stava un popolo di gente strana che non si sa. Tra ste duri vendo stargianicolo, prima di Roma c'è stavo già. Prima di Roma c'è stavo già. Quando arrivava il sole col caretto e l'acqua diventava trasparente, le ninfe oceanine facevano le corse pecorente. Tra ste duri vendo stargianicolo, prima di Roma c'è stavo già. Tra ste duri vendo stargianicolo. Il lupo nero che era in pericolo veniva sempre per provocare. Il lupo nero che andava a pecore. Pure di notte come miracolo ci si vedeva nel camminà. L'arena bionda sotto Argianicolo spreluccicava di qua e di là. Tra ste duri vendo stargianicolo, prima di Roma c'è stavo già. Prima di Roma c'è stavo già. Quando tornava il sole col caretto e l'acqua diventava trasparente, le ninfe e i tritoni facevano l'amore pecorente. So we arrived at an interesting part of this build. So I had to see where my truss rods were going to be. Usually, it's not unusual for an 8 strings guitar to have two truss rods, because it gives more versatility when it comes to setting up the relief of the neck, because you can have a tighter neck on the high side for solos and more relief on the low side, maybe for rhythm parts. Here I had to kind of stretch on the position of the truss rods, because I usually prefer to put the start of the straight part of the truss rod exactly under the first fret to have the most out of the setup, okay, on the first fret, because like that I can set up the distance of the first fret from the string a bit more precisely after I already cut the nut. But here I had to put it a bit farther down because my truss rods were not long enough. These were the longest I could find for a fair price. These two cost me I think 16 euros both, or maybe more, I don't remember, maybe I'll check. So I had a few problems here routing the cavities because my template and my router bits were a bit of a bitch. Okay, the template was fine since my last guitar, and here I don't know what happened, probably it moved or something broke, I don't know, but my router moved a lot around in the template, so my cavities were not precise, and I had to fix them later. But also my router bit was not sharp enough, it wasn't able to cut as smooth as I wanted, and it came out of the router when it was moving, so it kind of made a mess. But I was able to fix it nonetheless. It was just a lot of time, I just had to spend a lot of time doing it. That's the last guitar that I was talking about, and you can see that the truss rod cavity is pretty much perfect. Here you'll see that these ones weren't. So here I'm fixing the position of the truss rods because I wasn't sure where to put them. I decided to put them 1 centimeters apart from each other, but here I put them a bit farther and I didn't like it, so I just fixed it. Probably could have used a pencil instead of a pen, but whatever. I'll just put some music here and we'll talk later. C'ho l'anni del cucco, me scocchiano l'ossa, so vecchio bacucco, son pizza la fossa. Si faccio le scale, ci arrivo sfiatato, si prova a chinarmi di mano piegato. Son mezzo ciecato, me guardo allo specchio e per quello che vedo son povero vecchio, so rotto, non sforzo è davvero, c'è il caso sicuro che qui faccia il botto. Ma da qua non mai guardato, tutto un botto, un petter cori. T'è zompato, sei svegliato, sei rimesso a camminare. C'ho l'anni del cucco, me scocchiano l'ossa, so vecchio bacucco, son pizza la fossa, so stanco, so rotto, non c'ho più capoccia, me scordo di tutto, ma sai che me scoccia? Te dicono bravo, la prendi con calma, e beh se capisce, so quasi una sarma, c'ho l'occhi abbottati, i denti cariati, le ore contate, le segue pagate. Ma da qua non mai guardato, tutto un botto, un petter cori. T'è zompato, sei svegliato, sei rimesso a camminare. Ma da qua non mai guardato, tutto un botto, un petter cori. T'è zompato, sei svegliato, sei rimesso a camminare. Ma da qua non mai guardato, tutto un botto, un petter cori. Sei zompato, sei svegliato, sei rimesso a camminare. dragonborn comes. It's an end to the evil of all Skyrim foes. Beware, beware, the dragonborn comes. For the darkness is spaced and legend yet grows. You'll know the dragonborn's come. Non sa sul ventalo, qualche mondo ma no. have to draw the position of the tuners on the headstock. So when you're drawing when you're deciding where to put your tuners on the headstock on a guitar, you have to keep in mind a couple of things. First, you need to make sure that you have clearance from the side of the headstock and the tuner, because if you don't, you're not gonna be able to tune your guitar, because the tuner is not gonna spin, because it would get stuck. Okay, to do this, just decide what shape more or less your headstock is going to be and put your tuner on it, literally your tuner, to see if it's going to get stuck or something. Okay, you can just draw the shape and put the tuners on it and see pretty much where it is. Then I usually draw the position of the strings on the neck to see if any string would touch each other, or maybe touch another tuning peg, because that's something you don't want. And to do this, you have to just try, okay, make a few measurements, move around your tuners, and I usually draw the tuning peg and the hole on the wood. I draw also the hole of the tuner because I want to make sure that I have, let's say, a centimeter, sometimes less, sometimes more, but pretty much a centimeter from the side of the headstock and the start of the hole, because it's good for stability, okay? You can do less, but not with every wood. So I usually I have a lot of templates to make headstocks, but since this is an 8 strings guitar, I couldn't do it on this one. So I had to make a few measurements to understand, to see where my tuners were going to be, and you're going to see that it took me a while, because I had to make a couple of guesses, a bunch of tries, but at the end I found the best spot for my tuner on one side. Then it's easy to transfer it on the other side, just mirror it. So you can draw 4 perpendicular lines to the center line, see where your tuners are on one side, and transfer it, measure it with a ruler and transfer it on the other side. From there it's pretty easy. Just make sure that you have at least a couple of centimeters from the nut for the angle of the tuner, and you have let's say a couple of centimeters, sorry for my phone, a couple of centimeters from the hand of your headstock, so the top of your guitar, and from that you're done. So thank you for watching until now. I hope it wasn't too unbearable, my pronunciation, and thank you for watching. Vote for me in the competition, and bella riga. Ciao ma, questo silenzio cos'è? Sveglia, tutti a rapporto da me. Possibile che nessuno si muove, ma sanno il comandante di questa lurida nave, non sono il capitano Uncino, e allora quando vi chiamo lasciate tutto e correte e fate presto, perché chi arriva tardi lo sbrano. Avanti chi mi dà notizie di Peter Pan, la voglio vivo, però quando la chiappo non so che cosa gli farò. Si prende gioco di me e fa il gradasso mie stesse mani, anzi col mio uncino lo dovrò scannare. Eccolo in vista, e lui con tutta la banda. Meglio che questa volta si arrenda. Non voglio prigionieri, basta solo un ostaggio. La ragione è la vostra parte, ricordate, anti all'arrembaggio. Non sono il capitano Gino. E allora avanti col coro, cantate tutti con me e ripetete con me gli slogan che vi ho insegnato. Veri pirati noi siamo, contro il sistema lottiamo. Ci esercitiamo a scuola a far la faccia dura, a fare più paura. Ma cosa c'è di male? Ma cosa c'è di strano?